It was a cold and rainy night in 1889 when a middle-aged man named Bill and his wife walked dripping wet into the lobby of the Bellevue Arms Hotel in downtown Philadelphia in search of a room. The night manager on duty was a young man named George, and he said, "Look, I'm sorry to break the news to you, but not only do we not have any rooms, but there's not a room in the entire city to be had because there are 3 conventions in town." Well, the couple was distraught. They didn't know what to do. It was already almost midnight. Now, if George had been a merely good employee, he might have said, "Well, you know, you're welcome to stay here in the lobby until it stops raining." But George believed in going the extra mile. He said, "Look, I can't send a nice couple like you out on a night like this. If you're okay with the fact that I wasn't expecting company, you can have my room for the night." He said, "I'm the night manager. I work all night and then I sleep away the day in my own room here at the hotel. If you're okay with the fact that I wasn't prepared for company, you can have my room until breakfast." Well, they jumped on that like King Kong on a big banana. I write my own material. They spent the night there. The following morning, they shared breakfast with George, and at the end of it, Bill said, "George, we'll never forget this. You're the kind of man that anybody would be proud to have running their hotel." 3 years later, out of the clear blue sky, George received an envelope in the mail. Contained a letter from Bill and a train ticket to Manhattan. The letter said, "George, you may not remember us, but you helped my wife and I by giving us your room 3 years ago, and we want to say thank you in a very tangible way." George went to the meeting, sat down with Bill at a little cafe, shared small talk, and after a while, George said, "Well, you've got my curiosity up. Why am I here?" Bill said, "Look across the street." George looked through the glass window, and there across the street was the most beautiful hotel he had ever seen in his life. Bill said, "That is the hotel of which you are now the general manager, if you would like to be." They toured the hotel, and George would later say that it was the most elegantly appointed hotel he had ever seen in his life, and with good reason. It was, up until that time, the most elegantly and opulently appointed hotel ever built in the New World. At the end of the tour, George said to Bill, "Well, I guess you know that my answer is yes. What are we going to call our hotel?" And Bill said, "I've named it after myself. My name is Bill Waldorf." That was the original Waldorf Hotel, later to become the Waldorf Astoria. George C. Bolt went on to become a legend in the hotel business. You can even go to upstate New York and visit his castle the same way you can visit the Hearst Mansion on the West Coast or the Biltmore Estate in the mountains of North Carolina. George became a multimillionaire and is still revered in the hospitality industry to this day because he put his stamp on every single Waldorf property, which meant service to the nth degree. He believed in going the extra mile.